Welcome back to Gray Squadron Gaming. We have another exciting episode in our Legion 101 series. This is a series aimed for more new players, but also some good brush up for some players who've been playing for a little bit, maybe not getting as much out of it as they want to. We're going to be tackling the topic of squad building today. I'll be going over how you squad build, how you cohese with your squad build, what are some thoughts to do when you're building squads for Recon and for the large game, how do you build around what you have, things like that we're going to touch on. I won't get too much into the depths of like this is the most meta tier S list you could possibly build. This is what you should bring. No, it's gonna be more just squad building in general. So I think we should just jump right in and take a look. So I use Tabletop Admiral, but you can use any site or just the cards or anything you want to use to do that. Okay, so for this example, let's look at some rebels. And we're going to come down to this bottom right here, and we're going to select the skirmish slash recon because now it's called recon. So it gives us 600 points to build with. I'm going to build this first example off of just our core set, our starter set. So we know in the starter set we have access to Luke Skywalker. We have access to some Rebel Trooper units, which is always a plus. We have access to some lovely commandos and some Wookiee warriors. So let's get that going. So here's our units we have. We're at 317 currently, so let's see how we want to build these up. Now, we can do this a couple ways. On our how to play, you saw we brought big squad rebels. Now, if you build your rebels or you make sure there's some markings on your rebel troopers to get 2 leaders out of each unit, which AMG said you can, we're going to go with that assumption. So I'm going to pump this up to 4 squads of rebel troopers now in this box. Now, this always gives you a little fire symbol. That does not mean it's the best upgrade. It just means it's the most popular one selected for this. Now with this, I will go with Force Reflex. It's a cheap $5 upgrade. It gives you some utility to use with Luke. I don't think it's wrong to go with Burst of Speed to get up there faster or any of the other options. That's just what I'm going to go for point wise. I like to have my Luke Skywalker in his stance get a little bit more melee because right now he's got a 2 red, 3 black, 5 dice swing with Pierce 1. He gets a wound on him. I want that to be a 6 dice swing. So we're going to add the tenacity, which is always gives you the extra red dice if you have any wounds on you. So that's always a good thing to have. And then we're going to look at, do I want any command upgrades or do I want any gear upgrades? I like prepared supplies, so we'll stick it there for now. That might come off if we need the points. We're at 413 of 600 though, so we're doing fine. Heavy weapon upgrades. So we've got our Ion and our DLT only as our options for the starter. Unfortunately, the SX21 does not come with the starter, so our more expensive options. So for this example, I think we'll split the middle. We will add 2 of the Ion Troopers, give us some impact and some threat against vehicles, and 2 of our DLT to give us more range. Now we're at 519 of 600. Let's keep going. Our Wookiee Warriors here. We've got the melee version, so they have the charge, duelist, they have the black, white, and melee, 3 health each. I really like to see them with the battle shield for the melee version. And if I have points, I'll add things like tenacity, etc. The commandos are the hardest thing for me right now because they are only 1 black dice, like a rebel trooper, but they surge to hit, and they have sharpshooter and scout 2 and low profile. Other than that, they lose agile and nimble. They're a little bit more expensive by 8 points. I just feel like they're unfortunately the weak spot of this box. The sniper is ridiculously priced at 38 points for just 2 dice. And the Saboteur is decently priced at 20 for 3 dice, but it's only range melee to 1. They don't want to be in melee or 1. They don't get extra dice for getting close. Like for example, the Scout Troopers and the Imperial get 2 black dice at range 2, so they don't mind being closer. But for this build, I think I am going to go with the Saboteur charge right there. And we still have some points here. So we can look at our building and we can go, well, we do have enough to bring a strike team if we want to. So if we bring a strike team, and the cheapest way we can configure the strike team would be 40 points. So we're over by 5, and that's for just a 2-man unit with bomb. Not great. Not a good use of the points. They'll die too easy. So for this one, you really want to try to bring a sniper unit if you can. Now we're 23 points over. So we can look at the army and go, okay, I have 23 points over. What can I shave, if anything? Or do I need to take off that thing, go back down to 7 activations? So I want to keep my 8 activations. It's more based on you. So at that point, you get to pick. I don't feel the commandos are worth the 58 points. I think the rebel troopers are a better option for the strike team, so I'm going to kill that strike team I just added, which means now I'm in excess of points. I got some points left to play with. That's always a fun thing to have. So the first thing I want to do is I'm going to add tenacity to my Wookiees at 571. Still have points left over. Always a good thing. Got about 29 points. We can look Rebel Trooper Squad's 45. That's too much. We can add some extra Rebel Troopers to every unit, which is always a good option. Now, we are going to be over Rebel Troopers, though, because the core set comes with what? 22 Rebel Troopers, I believe. It's 11 in each unit. You get two of them. So with that said, this would be a base of 4, 5, 6 times 2 is 12, 24. So we're a couple over. So with that knowledge, we'll take off a couple of Rebel Troopers. We'll keep the extra ones on the Ions. The DLTs will be running it by themselves. Let's go ahead and give Luke improvised orders. So now he's kind of built up. He's looking pretty good. We know these commandos are going to be close. They have We do have our print and play cards. Anything in this dark shaded are the newer ones for my screen because it's my collections we added. We could add these. Could add some lovely comms, but it's really up to you what you want to add with your troopers. To round this one out, what I would do is since print to play exists and you can print all these cards, I would add it into the fray on these guys, giving them surge to block when they're in melee. Essentially, it gives them a surge token everyone activates, helping them get surge to block. That's how I should word that for you. So that's helpful there. He's going to have that. And then these other Rebel Troopers here, we still have 6 points to play with. I think what I want to do is try to help my commandos live because they have a hard time living. So I'm going to give them a prepared supplies too. And 599. We got 599 for 7 activations from Recon. So now we have Luke Skywalker built up. 2 units of Rebel Troopers, Ion, and extra Rebel Trooper. 2 units of Rebel Troopers with the DLT each. And we have Wookiee Warriors, Rebel Commandos. And now you're like, Joe, you don't get 2 Ions and 2 DLTs per unit. You're right, you don't. So if we want to build this strictly like we would build a from starter minis only, which is fine. We'll take off a Rebel Trooper each, take out these extras. I'm going to flex to the large unit to build it like they like it. And as you can see, we still have those points. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go back to that what I visited earlier is we're going to add this strike team of commandos with their sniper. We're 1 point over. That's an easy fix. We'll take off the prepared supplies of the commandos. We have 4 points to play with still. And what we could do for these guys is we could just add a simple duck and cover to one of them, or to both of them, excuse me, which would bring us to our points. That brings us 600. So now we're at 6 activations. So not quite our nice 7 or 8 activations we were looking at, but we have 2 large rebel units. So you're looking at base of 4. You add this trooper squad that gives us another 5, 9, plus the heavy 10. So we've got 20 troopers on the floor. There for that, you have Luke. You got a unit of Wookiees with the battle shields. This is a pretty acceptable list here. That's nice. So what we'll do is we'll do the same thing now with the Empire to give some ideas here. Empire doesn't have as much variety of trooper units. You have Darth Vader, which we have to add. We're going to have 2 units of stormtroopers and 2 units of scout troopers. Plus, we'll probably need those strike teams. So again, if I was building this in a way where we were just going to add everything we have mini fours, I probably would go 4 units of stormtroopers to get my activation count up, or maybe 3 with 1 or 2 large. But for this, I'm going to keep the large troopers going so we can build things we have just in our box. Besides print and play cards, those are always fine. So we'll add the 2 big units there. And then we can do our HH-12 gun, which is going to be 3 black, cumbersome, impact 3. The cumbersome, not great. Impact, nice. It's an option. We have the DLT one is not in there. The RT-97C and the T-21 are all options based off what you have. Let's start with Vader, though. Vader's going to take burst of speed because that's speed 1, and we want him to get him in the action. He does not want to hang back for most rounds. Let's give him burst. That's an easy one. Saber throw's fine. He'll throw 3 red into range. That's a good option. I think there's better options, so I'm gonna add force reflexes for my second. And for this example, I think I'll go with force choke, just to be able to really kill some units. Scout Troopers are easy. I think the two full units are going to be each of the Saboteur. It's a great mini. Unlike the Rebel, it gets 4 dice with blast suppressive impact. So it's got the impact unit, but it's got the blast. And they already throw 2 black dice at range 2 only. So you're looking at the base units throwing 8 black dice. With the Saboteur, now you're throwing 10 black, 1 white, 1 red. We can take this further and give them a frag grenade, which I think is what we want to do because they don't surge. Now with the frag grenade, 1 leader will throw that. So you're throwing 6 black for the regular. With the heavy, it's 8 black with the heavy, 8 black, 1 white, 1 red, and then your leader will throw the grenades, giving you another red dice. Surge to crit though. That's 76 points for 2 of those. They hit like a truck. I think that's a very good option. You're at 551. We forgot to switch down here back to the Recon. So we're still playing with some points here. Now again, the smaller ones, I think you want to go with the strikes. We won't have enough for 2 of them, so that's fine. So we'll maybe back one off there. And as you can see, we have enough for one DLT sniper. The other one we do not have enough for. Either way, we only have about 11 points left if we keep our build as is. So I think we're going to just drop this strike team here for now and see how this build is working out. So now we have Vader built up. We've got some stormtroopers. We need to get a heavy. HH12, if you know you're going starter on starter, there's no vehicle, so you don't need the impact. If you don't know you're going being, it's 22 points for that. It's not terrible. This one is 1 red, 3 white, and the T21 is 4 white, critical 2. This example, we'll just do the. Now we're 9 points over. Just showing you an example of how we can build them here. So with us being 9 points over, we got to kill something. So I think the first thing we kill to keep our team is probably the Force Choke. Now we're at 599. We got Vader, 2 big storms with a heavy, 2 scouts with the heavy and the grenade. We could drop the grenade to save 10 points and keep the Force Choke. I think the grenade will come more in handy with the surge to crits, giving that unit at range 1, which is where they want to be with their heavy anyways, and then a unit of a strike team for next activation with a DLT you can hang back and snipe. 6 activations. It's a good recon list. Okay, so how do we take these principles and we build them to a full team? So let's just keep switching armies to kind of people who play different things. Let's go Republic. Let's look at a full Republic list. It's probably the one on the list I'm the most comfortable with building is Republic. I like to play with Jedis. I like to play with lightsabers. So I'm going to go with Anakin Skywalker as my leader. If you watch the channel, you guys know I love Anakin. We're going to start with a nice base of 4 clone infantry. I'm going to throw 2 arcs in there. And I'm going to throw, let's go with a couple ATRTs. That will start us. We have 9 acts to start with. We're going to start building things and seeing what we come back to. We could throw some Clone Commandos if you have them. They're one of my favorite units for the support role. We could throw some ARF Troopers for some range or some Wookiee Wars for some melee. We could get Bad Batch in there for sure. We can get Ahsoka in here. I think we're going to stay here though for a second. So Anakin wants a couple different upgrades here. If you have the points, I think Force Push is very good on Anakin. It's just very expensive. And then I like to throw reflexes on him to help him stay alive a little bit. We're going to give tenacity. You'll also notice that's a common theme with the builds here. And then I like Into the Fray to help him survive in that melee. It's very expensive though at 225. So feel free to trim up as you need. You drop the force push alone and you're under 200. So for our clone infantry, we got our Z6, RPSs, mortars, DP23s, a nice cheap one. I think for this example, I'm going to go all Z6s, but I'm going to actually let's go 3 Z6s. And for the last one, let's go with the DP23 shotgun. I'm going to also in the DPG3, I'm going to bring Ahsoka in there because Snips would be with Anakin, right? So now we've got Ahsoka as our leader. Well, she's great, adding 2 white, 2 black, block, charge, and independent dodge 1, including critical impact 2 and pierce 1, all for 35 points. It's really good. And since the clone trooper has 4 health infantry, you're adding a 5th with the DB23 and Ahsoka 6. She's essentially a 6 health person with more bodies around her, right? So some people are like, how does she not have 2 health with the others? I think it was just a balance reason, but now with this, she does. So we're looking at that now. If you have the points, I think it's also a very good idea to add at least an extra body to bring her to a 7th health for 13 points, or 56 if you have a lot of points to give her a ton of health. But we'll stay there for now. ARC Troopers, the easiest, cheapest is going to be your clone medic. He can shoot at range with them, range 2. He can melee them with. He can also heal 1. The Guardian's a great option with adding Pierce, but it's only melee. So let's split the difference. Let's go 1 medic in there, and one Jedi Guardian, just for variety. Our ATRTs, well, we don't really have any impact at all except for Anakin's lightsaber. So I think we need to go some impact variants of these guys. So let's go here. Let's do two laser cannons to give us some anti-vehicle threat here. So my idea here with this list, as I'm talking about trying to build lists that are cohesive, is we got Anakin Skywalker's and to go up front. He's not going to be that token sharing. He's not going to be that supporting Jedi. He's going to go out there and cause havoc. He's going to pull some diversionary tactics, if you will, and make sure people are looking at him, noticing him, letting his clones do what they do. So with that said, we probably want another commander out here to help the actual clones do their job. So we have a couple choices. We have the cheap clone commander at 60, or we can go up to like a Rex at 95 or a Cody at 95. I think I'm gonna go with the cheap clone commander, so that way he's not taking up too much of my points, but he'll still be helpful. With the clone commander, I like to give him portable scanner on him because now he's got bolster two, direct clone trooper, sharpshooter, and he's got the lovely take cover one to give out some dodges if needed. You don't need that. You can totally just keep him as is because he's pretty much exemplar for the clones because he's a clone, so he can share his tokens up to range two of other clones. But this way, if he needs to give Anakin a clone or a dodge or something, he can. I still have 30 points to play with here, so we still have a decent amount of points. So with 30 points and 10 activations, I think I'm going to can't get another activation out of that. So I think we're gonna first thing we do is we go visit the Ahsoka unit and we add an extra clone trooper unit here. That's not the Ahsoka unit. This is the Ahsoka unit. We'll add an extra clone trooper to give her another health and another dice and attack. Now we're at 83. Looking at our options here, we're probably going to want some more upgrades. Let's go with on the clone commander. We've got cores, we've got special forces, we've got supports, we've got leaders. Let's go with improvised orders. I really like that upgrade in this meta a lot. Um, and then just trying to round out our units. What do we want to do left of them? I kind of like to keep my ARC troopers alive as best as possible. So I think I'm going to go with some prepared supplies to help them each survive a little bit better on their approach. It's going to bring us to just a whopping 2 points left. Not much you can do with 2 points there. You can give it duck and cover, which doesn't really help these units. We can give environmental gear or grappling hook, which is some extra climber. Unhindered lets them ignore things. So you can give one unit. We'll give the Ahsoka unit. Why not? We'll give her. She doesn't have the slot, sorry. So we'll have to give like an ARC trooper or something. It's up to you what you want to do with those 2 points. You could also upgrade a couple things differently as well. Like instead of the extra clone trooper at 13, um, you can go up to 17 and then shave off 2 points somewhere else. You have options, but I'll stay at 298 for now. We'll give the Jedi Guardian one because we have the points to play with. We'll give him the lovely a 2 point upgrade of our choice just to grappling hooks there. There we go. We're at 1,000 points. 10 activations. So that's the idea of here. And the last army we'll look at to making is going to be, oh, also we take all of three Anakin's cards here. We could also look at making this just the 501st if we wanted to, because it's pretty much what it is. But let's go look at the Separatist army for our last example, and we'll do another big one on this one. So Separatist right now, I really like Dooku a lot. I think he's good, but um, I'm going to try to build this with Minds people coming in with new collections and the starters and stuff. So let's go with Grievous for this one. And then let's grab at least 3 units of B1s and 2 units of B2s. Fill this out a little bit. We'll go with the Magna Guard to help march up with Dooku. I think the Crab droids are great for their scouting party. I think the spiders have a really good ion gun. I think the droidicas can block line of sight and they can move up and shoot things. I think you got a lot of options depending what you have in your army. I think as of right now, unless things change, most people would recommend you buy a unit or two of Aqua. So we'll throw an Aqua on there and go from there. You can also throw some Geonosian Warriors. You could throw, if you went with any kind of um, operative is what I'm looking for, you could do that. But for this example, let's just go with, let's say you bought 2 units of Aquas on there and you bought and you got your droidicas from your starter, right? Or a double starter. So we'll start with this build here and we'll see where it goes. So with General Grievous, he's got his leader, he's got his definitely want to give him tenacity, which is really good. He's got his guns built in now. We don't have to worry about that. We'll give him improvised orders for now. And then we're going to give him prepared supplies, which is, as you can see, it's one of the hot, most upgraded items because it's good on him. The B2s are pretty easy for their heavy. You want the B2 ACM. We'll give 2 of those. It just adds 3 red. It's solid. Nothing to complain about there on both. The B1s, we're gonna leave them alone for a second. We're gonna come back to them. Magnus, do we want the whip at 28, the extra guard, nothing, or 40 for the RPS? Looking at my list, I am a little low on anti-vehicle besides the Aqua, so maybe we spend the points for the 40 points. Impact 2, critical 1, rainbow. It's a little expensive, but I think maybe we pay for it and see how we are since in case we come against other vehicles. We give him protector so we can help pull hits off of General Grievous. It's got the entourage from General Grievous. It's just you can now cancel crits. It's good. Charge because don't need anything. Aquas need their heavy. Okay, so we're at this. We're at 873. So we could add some more activations. We could we could increase the strength of our current activation. So I think the first thing I want to do is I want to add the expensive Super B2s. Oops, sorry, just to 1, not to 2. That brings us at 950. We've got about 50 points to play with. We could add some heavies to the B1s easily. Let's go with the E5C. We're at 98 now with our 11 activations. It's not bad. It's not bad. I mean, usually our droids can get it more than 11 pretty easy. You can go more swarm tactics. But for this list, I think this is pretty good. 98, we can give whoever we want one other little upgrade here or there. But yeah, no, I think this is fine. So what we're looking at right now is we've got 2 units of Aquas, each with their heavy. 2 units of Droidicas, just naked as is. Magna Guard with the RPS and the Protector. We've got a B1 Battle Droid here with 3 of them with their E5C. 1 super with the heavy and the super squad, and 1 super with just the heavy. And then Grievous with improvised orders, tenacity, and prepared supplies. Another example. You got Grievous coming up the board with his entourage, Magna Guards guarding him off. You've got your B1s chaining orders. You'll throw some dice if needed. You got your B2 is probably your secondary really big threat, the big squad. Your regular B2 is another good threat. Then for armor, for line of sight blocking, you have your Aqua Droids coming down with their infiltrate, big base moving. Your Droidicas can lay suppression down. You've got a good variety in this list. So when you're building a list, you want to kind of keep things cohesive. You wouldn't want to bring like a T series who can direct droids and stuff with a whole bunch of bugs like Geonosians. So that wouldn't make as much sense as bringing like a Poggle. It's very cheap with bugs. That makes more sense in B2s. But yeah, so you just want to make sure when you're building a list, you have there's not a lot of support in this list because you have a Grievous leader and you only have 1 leader in the CIS, which can be an issue. So what you could do is you could drop this heavy right here, and we can look at giving him some help here. So we can bring a T series on here, like so. That also brings you up to 12 activations now, which is really nice. T series has bolster 2, direct droid, trooper, and exemplar. For just a touch more, which we had, you could also bring a super tack instead, but we'll give him electro binoculars to be a little bit more helpful. We still have 11 points to play with after that, so we could do something else. Like we can look at like how much is an extra B2 body. An extra B2 body is 18 points. So what if we add 2 of those? Well, now we're over 25. What if we take off this RPS now? We're kind of switching our thought process here, and we just add the extra guard. What are we at now? We're still over 7. It's not terrible. We could probably shave 7 off something easy. What if we drop those binoculars we just added there? Now we're at our points. So you're just moving points around as you're seeing them kind of flowing through this building. We're at 99. So the T series is there now to bolster to direct Droid Trooper to be an exemplar. He can take a dodge and aim himself, share it out to his army. We have 1 more activation than we did before. We lost our supers, but now both of them have an extra trooper. This was a pretty good option too. And you have more of a command bubble to play with to help combat AI, to do different things with. So that helps. So I think this would be a good droid. So yeah, so when you're building your armies, I would take a couple things in mind. Obviously, first and foremost, what you have at your disposal. Play with what you have. Don't worry about not having everything at once. It's okay. Just build with what you have. You'll learn the game really good. 2, learn to synergize. What synergizes well? Well, droids have AI. AI can be a hindrance, but there's a lot of ways in this game to negate AI. 1, bring in 2 leaders increases that AI bubble much farther, so you don't have to worry about AI taking over as much, and gives you a little bit more order control too with the directing and the chaining. You can do other things like, when you're bringing and looking at rebel armies, like Leia Organa, for example. She has take cover 2. She's exemplar. She can really support her troops and move them up the battlefield, right? Cody, if you bring Cody, you probably want to bring some kind of vehicles or something like that. That would be helpful. Um, yeah, so just think of what you're doing before you're building and have fun with it. Learn, experiment, play. And until next time, if you guys have any questions about this, drop them in the comments below. Otherwise, look for more Legion 101 series. Thank you all for watching.